Coffee, starch and sweetener recorded significant profit growth in the first semester. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you informations from business, economic and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still ongoing, we'll provide you the latest COVID-19 information. And please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headline. Let's start Market Headline. The government has again extended the policy of implementing restrictions on community activities or PPKM in Java and Bali until August 30, 2021. In this extension, a number of regions experienced a decrease in levels. In an official statement, President Joko Widodo revealed that the agglomeration areas of Jabodetabek, Bandung Raya, Surabaya Raya, and several other district or city areas could be at level 3. The decline in this level was influenced by a significant decline in cases in a number of areas since the peak of cases on July 50, 2021 ago. However, Jokowi asked the public to remain vigilant and implement health protocols because the COVID-19 pandemic is not over yet. Even some countries are experiencing the third wave.
Untuk Pulau Jawa dan Bali, wilayah aglomerasi Jabodetabek, Bandung Raya, Surabaya Raya, dan beberapa wilayah kota kabupaten lainnya sudah bisa berada pada level 3 mulai tanggal 24 Agustus 2021. Untuk Pulau Jawa Bali ada perkembangan yang cukup baik. Level 4 dari 67 kabupaten kota berkurang menjadi 51 kabupaten kota. Level 3 dari 59 kabupaten kota menjadi 67 kabupaten kota. Dan level 2 dari 2 kabupaten kota menjadi 10 kabupaten dan kota. Untuk luar Jawa Bali juga ada perkembangan yang membaik, tetapi tetap harus waspada.
The government and Bank of Indonesia resumed the third phase of the burden sharing policy, which is valid until the end of 2022. The Minister of Finance ensures this collaboration is to assist the government in anticipating the surge in financing needs for handling the pandemic. In order to maintain the economic recovery and deal with the pandemic, the government and Bank Indonesia have resumed cooperation in financing the handling of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic through the signing of third phase burden sharing joint decree. The joint decree was made to strengthen the implementation of the purchase of government bonds in the primary market by Bank Indonesia. Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati explained that this continued joint decree was based on the initiative of Bank Indonesia to help ease the burden on the government.
Ini pemerintah ada kesulitan dalam penarikan utang sama sekali tidak. Tidak ada dalam hal ini kesulitan untuk penarikan utang, baik yang itu berasal dari market domestik maupun global, maupun yang berasal dari bilateral dan multilateral. Bahkan dalam hal ini sebetulnya pemerintah tetap memiliki pilihan. Maka tadi yang disampaikan oleh Pak Gubernur, penekanannya adalah keterpanggilan Bank Indonesia dalam situasi yang extraordinary, tetap dalam rambu-rambunya Bank Indonesia.
The amount of government bonds issued in 2021 is 215 trillion rupiah and 224 trillion rupiah in 2022. Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel. Meantime, the government through the Ministry of Investment revealed that there are new investors who are interested in developing halal tourism. One of them is the United Arab Emirates is said to be investing in the development of a halal tourism area in Aceh. Together with the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, the Minister of Investment, Bahlil Lahadalia, will continue to develop the halal tourism industry. This is based on the intention of the United Arab Emirates to invest in developing a halal tourism area in Aceh. For this reason, Bahlil confirmed that his party would fly to the UAE along with the Tourism Minister Sandiaga Uno to discuss halal tourism in Aceh in September. If this investment materializes, it will certainly have an impact on the Aceh economy, considering that due to the coronavirus pandemic, tourism in Aceh is empty of visitors.
Yang kedua menyangkut wisata halal, memang betul ada rencana investasi dari Uni Emirat Arab yang melakukan membangun kawasan wisata halal di Aceh. Sekarang kita lagi nyusun langkah-langkah detailnya untuk beberapa insentif dan izin yang mereka minta. Insya Allah bulan November kami akan ke Uni Emirat Arab.
Furthermore, Bahlil hopes that in line with the current economic recovery process, tourism demand in Aceh can increase again. Jakarta, Ade Firmansyah for IDX Channel. And we're moving on to global update. The U.S. gave full approval to Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, a milestone that could boost public confidence in the shots. In time, New Zealand's government said it will extend a strict nationwide lockdown as it tries to extinguish a growing coronavirus outbreak. And more stories on today's International Minute. The U.S. gave full approval to Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, a milestone that could boost public confidence in the shots and spur more companies, universities and local governments to make vaccinations mandatory. The Pentagon immediately announced it will press ahead with plans to require members of the military to get the vaccine as the U.S. and the world battle the extra contagious Delta variant. New Zealand's government said it will extend a strict nationwide lockdown until at least Friday as it tries to extinguish a growing coronavirus outbreak. The news came as health authorities reported 35 new local infections of the fast-spreading Delta variant, the highest number of daily COVID-19 cases in New Zealand since April last year. As part of Beijing's unprecedented scrutiny of private sector firms, Chinese regulators are considering pressing data-rich companies to hand over management and supervision of their data to third-party firms if they want U.S. stock listings. The regulators believe bringing in third-party information security firms, ideally state-backed, to manage and monitor IPO hopefuls' data could effectively limit their ability to transfer Chinese onshore data overseas. Staff and supply shortages have taken their toll on the UK's economic recovery this month. According to a closely watched survey, the IHS Markit or CIPS Composite Purchasing Managers Index for August hit a 6-month low of 55.3, falling for 59.2 in July. Any reading above 50 indicates growth, but a bounce back from the pandemic is losing momentum, said researchers. IDX Channel reports. Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Ingin menjalani kehidupan yang mapan dan masa depan yang sejahtera? Sikapi uang dengan bijak. Mulailah berinvestasi di pasar modal. Dengan membeli saham melalui Bursa Efek maupun perusahaan sekuritas, Anda dapat menikmati hasil keuntungan dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang tersedia. Pastikan Anda berinvestasi di perusahaan yang memiliki izin resmi, cerdas mengelola, masa depan sejahtera. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, lembaga pengawas industri jasa keuangan yang terpercaya.
Wilayah kerja minyak dan gas bumi, Rokan, kembali ke pangkuan Ibu Pertiwi. Presiden Joko Widodo kemarin meluncurkan sistem online single submission atau OSS berbasis risiko di Kementerian Investasi. Jadi untuk menjadi pengusaha gitu, tapi kalau perizinannya susah, ya nggak jadi. Gitu.
Pelaku usaha lokal juga ini kan merasa didukung ya, dan ketika para pelaku usaha ini bisa tumbuh, ini kan juga bisa mendorong perekonomian pada akhirnya, betul ya?
Pasti.
Biar komitmen itu menjadi realisasi investasi. Badan Pusat Statistik menyebutkan bahwa jumlah perusahaan yang terdampak pandemi COVID-19 di sepanjang kuartal 2 di tahun 2020 mencapai 82,85%. Bagaimana kalau kita review sedikit dampak dari pandemi terhadap dunia usaha begitu dari Kadin sendiri sejauh ini bagaimana sih?
Di Indonesia kita mulai terdampak kan di bulan Maret ya. Jadi kalau ada data yang mengatakan 80% sudah fully recover, saya tuh bingung datanya dari mana, apalagi UMKM.
Biden mengatakan Amerika Serikat akan membagikan setidaknya 20 juta dosis vaksin COVID-19 resmi Amerika Serikat.
Apakah ini lagi-lagi akan menjadi sentimen yang cukup positif atau justru sepertinya bisa jadi tidak sesignifikan sebelumnya?
Menurut saya sih kalau dilihat cerminan pasar beberapa hari terakhir sih nggak ada efeknya ya.
Indeks harga saham gabungan ditutup di level 5.833.860 dan ini merupakan level terendah dalam beberapa bulan terakhir.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. The government has decided to continue injecting funds to SOE through the state capital participation mechanism next year. The total budget set out in the 2022 state budget reached 38.5 trillion rupiah. The government has decided to continue injecting funds to state-owned enterprises through the state capital participation mechanism next year. The total budget set out in the 2022 state budget for the 7 state-owned companies reached 38.5 trillion rupiah. Next year's state capital allocation is 9.19% less than this year's ceiling of 42.4 trillion rupiah. Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati said the injection of state capital participation next year is an effort by the government to encourage related SOEs to carry out state infrastructure assignments. Meanwhile, SOEs that will receive state capital participation next year, including Perusahaan Listrik Negara, which will be used for the construction of electricity infrastructure in the form of transmission, substations and village electricity distribution. IDX Channel reports. Yes, infrastructure development is still one of the government's priority programs in 2022. Various schemes are being rolled out by the government, including state capital participation. And for more details, let's see it in the following infographics, and let's go to the first graphic. So in the first graphic, we can see the 2022 state equity participation plan, where the budget allocation of 38.5 trillion rupiah allocated to 7 SOEs in the infrastructure-related sector. And based on the 2022 state budget draft, the infrastructure to be worked on includes toll roads, electricity, and housing. The government provides a budget for infrastructure in the 2022 state budget draft, reaching 384.8 trillion rupiah. The budget is mostly channeled through central government spending of 170.4 trillion rupiah and transfers to regions and village funds of 119.2 trillion rupiah. In the financial notebook and the 2022 state budget draft, the government allocates state capital participation of 38.5 trillion rupiah to SOEs. This amount is a decrease from the 2021 plan of 71.2 trillion rupiah. So, which SOEs will receive state equity participation in 2022? Let's move on to the next graphic. We can see 4 SOEs as recipients of state equity participations next year. The first one is Perusahaan Listrik Negara or PLN for construction of village electricity transmission, substation and distribution projects. The second one is Adikarya for company liquidity and to complete a number of strategic projects. And the third SOE is Hutama Karya for completion of the construction of the Trans-Sumatra Toll Road, and Waskita Karya will also receive the state capital participation for strengthening the company's project capital structure. And to maintain the sustainability of infrastructure development, the government carefully and selectively provides state capital participation to SOEs that are given special assignments to carry out infrastructure projects such as completing the construction of Trans-Sumatra Toll Roads and developing tourism infrastructure in the Mandalika area. But not only SOEs that have the main task in construction, other SOEs that are categorized as business support are planned to receive the state participation funds. And let's see the list in the next graphic. So we can see the other 3 SOEs to receive state equity participation in 2022. The first is Sarana Multigria Finansial, or SMF, to support the government housing mortgage program. And the next one is Penjaminan and Infrastructure, or Penjaminan Infrastruktur Indonesia, increase business capacity of infrastructure project guarantee. And the next one is Perumnas, for completion of landed residential units in various areas. And yes, the investment will be used by SMF to support the mortgage program through housing financing liquidity facilities, where the government targets 200,000 subsidized houses in the form of long-term or medium-term funding. Meanwhile, Perumnas will also use the investment funds for the completion of landed residential units in Java, Sumatra, Sulawesi, and high-rise residential units in a number of areas. And of course, not only through state capital participation, infrastructure financing is also carried out through other schemes, including those in the next graphic. So the other infrastructure financing schemes other than state capital or state equity participation is investment in public service agency, State Asset Management Institute, worth 28.8 trillion rupiah. The next scheme is Housing Financing Liquidity Facility or FLPP, 19.1 trillion rupiah. The government provides a budget for infrastructure development through investment in the Public Service Agency worth 28.8 trillion rupiah to continue funding land acquisition in a number of national strategic projects, especially in 3 toll road developments, namely the Yogyakarta-Solo Kulon Progo Toll Road and the Yogyakarta-Bawen Toll Road. In addition, the government will also allocate a state capital investment reserve of 7.5 trillion rupiah for the completion of the construction of GTTS and other infrastructure, and 1 trillion rupiah from reserves for land acquisition. And hopefully, supervision can still be carried out optimally regarding the rolling out of infrastructure financing in 2022, so that it is on target and avoids frauds. And stay tuned, market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Indonesia dipastikan sudah terlepas dari jurang resesi ekonomi setelah berhasil tumbuh positif.
Pemerintah melihat bahwa Q4 adalah potensi untuk kita membalikkan keadaan kembali. Kita memperkirakan.
Saya Prisa Sombo membawakan program berita News Screen yang menghadirkan informasi seputar ekonomi maupun juga bisnis dari dalam negeri.
Aku pengen budaya kita masuk ke luar negeri semuanya.
Seiring meluasnya cakrawala investasi di tengah pasar saham yang dinamis. Analisa mendalam diperlukan untuk menemukan saham berorientasi value yang menghasilkan kinerja yang tinggi. IDX Channel akan mengulas isu pasar dan pergerakan saham terkini. Saksikan ulasannya bersama analis terpercaya hanya di IDX Channel.
Bagaimana tanggapan dari pengusaha dengan angka ini?
Tentu membuat kita harus lebih berhati-hati.
Langkah apa yang tepat?
Jadi kita harus bisa menunjukkan kepada masyarakat bahwa vaksinasi itu penting.
Welcome back. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,109.71. And then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 6,077.63. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at level of 6,089.5. In short, Jakarta Composite Index went down 0.33%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got technology as the leader of strengthening trend that went up 2.49%. Transportation and logistics went up 2.05%. And then we got energy as the leader of weakening trend that went down 1.49%, and infrastructure went down 1.43%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBYB went up 8.93% to the level of 1,830 rupiah per share. BABP went up 11.43% to the level of 468 rupiah per share. Real went up 14.56% to the level of 118 rupiah per share. And BBKP went up 4.72% to the level of 555 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBRI went down 1.77% to the level of 3,890 rupiah. Telkom went down 1.16% to the level of 3,400 rupiah per share. Agro went down 3.78% to the level of 2,290 rupiah per share. And Friend went down 2.26% to the level of 130 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,415 and was closed at the level of 14,369. In summary, rupiah went up 0.26%. Budi Starch and Sweetener successfully recorded performance growth in the first semester of 2021. The issuer recorded profit of 51.63 billion rupiah, or grew more than 200% year-on-year. Manufacturer of tapioca flour and sweetness, Budi Starch and Sweetener successfully recorded performance growth in the first semester of 2021. Based on financial statements, the company recorded profit of 51.63 billion rupiah, or increased 229.14% year-on-year. Profit growth is also supported by increasing revenue by 50.13% year-on-year. Increase in revenue also supported by increasing local and export sales. In the first semester of this year, the company's local sales reached 1.3 trillion rupiah, increased 16.17%. For export sales, significantly increased by 1,130% to 433.85 billion rupiah. IDX Channel reports. Regarding rights issue plan, Chandra Asri Petrochemical will have a limited public offering phase 3. Chandra Asri will offer 3.79 billion new shares with nominal value of 200 rupiah per share. Regarding rights issue plan, Chandra Asri Petrochemical will have a limited public offering phase 3. Chandra Asri will offer 3.79 billion new shares with nominal value of 200 rupiah per share. Chandra Asri targeted to obtain funds up to 15.49 trillion rupiah. If the shares offered are not entirely taken by the shareholders, the rest will be allocated to the shareholders who have placed an order bigger than their rights. Some shareholders, such as Barito Pacific, Prajogo Pangestu, and Marigold, decided not to exercise their rights. Funds from this right issue will be used to build a new factory in the form of a petrochemical complex integrated with Chandra Asri Petrochemical 2. The facilities that will be built among the Napcha Cracker Factory, Polymer Factory, and facilities to support the operations of the factory, including power supply, boiler, water treatment, jetty and storage tank. IDX Channel reports. Until first semester 2021, household equipment retail issuer Ace Hardware Indonesia has absorbed capital expenditure allocation of 41 billion rupiah. The capital expenditure absorption was allocated to add new stores. Until first semester 2021, household equipment retail issuer Ace Hardware Indonesia has absorbed capital expenditure allocation of 41 billion rupiah. The capital expenditure absorption was allocated to add new stores. From the target of opening 8 stores in 2021, 5 stores have been realized. The company is optimistic that opening 8 new stores will be achieved in the end of the year, especially the case of COVID-19 currently started to decrease and will take effect on the PPKM policy. If the target is reached, the company's single-digit growth target is expected to achieve. Meanwhile, amidst pandemic, the company is actively conducting online sales. Though it has not increased significantly, ACE's management say that online sales contribution remains positive. IDX Channel reports. And step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation. Here it is, an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, keep protecting your family by following health protocols, wearing face masks, keep your distance and stay away from crowds, wash your hands through running water, and also continue to support the vaccination program to accelerate the creation of herd immunity. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Menjalani kehidupan yang mapan dan masa depan yang sejahtera. Sikapi uang dengan bijak. Mulailah berinvestasi di pasar modal. Dengan membeli saham melalui Bursa Efek maupun perusahaan sekuritas, Anda dapat menikmati hasil keuntungan dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang tersedia. Pastikan Anda berinvestasi di perusahaan yang memiliki izin resmi, cerdas mengelola, masa depan sejahtera. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, lembaga pengawas industri jasa keuangan yang terpercaya.